Welcome to the No Regard podcast. My name's Nathan Bleakley.
I'm Marcelo Lucha.
The second video episode, Marcelo.
Yep.
Giving the people our,
giving them what they want, man.
I don't know about you, but oh man. Well, let's be honest this week.
Yes.
It's been a slow sports week. We're in the off season for basketball.
Yeah.
We're in the off season for football.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the off season for NFL.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care about Major League Baseball.
Nope.
And it's the middle of the season in the NRL and AFL, so it's just that mid-season sort of grind, just getting through with about 8 games to go.
Mm-hmm.
Teams are just trying to hustle, trying to do their thing. But there are still some exciting sports news through the week, so we'd like to give you what you want. We might have some different sort of stuff in store for you this week.
Yeah, it's not going to be sports heavy this week for sure, but
we'll get through what we want to talk about in sport, and then we'll talk about some other stuff as well.
Yeah. And as always, we're going to be talking about NBA basketball, right?
NBA basketball to kick off. Even when there's no basketball, there's basketball, guys. We're talking about the summer league.
I think it's a given that we'll always be talking about basketball.
Yeah.
At any point in time with any podcast.
Because we love our basketball here, Marcelo. We're
Yeah.
both huge fans. That's half the reason why we started, if not more than half.
Yeah.
So Summer League is basically, it's just where the up-and-comers get to show their stuff, the new NBA rookies, some guys that are coming off maybe some D-League rosters, just trying to, make their way in the NBA. So it's always exciting to see what maybe the next big thing is. These might be, we saw our first glimpse of guys like Kevin Durant, Derrick Rose, John Wall. We saw the first glimpse of their stardom in Summer League. So,
Derrick Rose's Summer League was one of the most amazing performances.
Same thing with Kevin Durant. Like, you watch the highlights of him in Summer League where he was just schooling guys.
Yeah.
This is where you can see like the initial glimpse of what might be the next best greats in the NBA.
Yeah.
So we're talking about some guys in Summer League, and one of the guys I really want to bring up initially is one of the contentious picks of the NBA draft, the one drafted by your New York Knicks.
Right, okay.
Kristaps Porzingis.
Uh-huh.
Now, we've seen him play a few games now, but one of the main games I want to bring up, and one I'm sure you'd like to talk about as well, is when the Knicks took on the Sixers.
Yep.
And obviously the main matchup in that is when Kristaps Porzingis, the 4th pick in the draft, was matched up against Jahlil Okafor, the 3rd pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Both very tall sort of center guys, but ones with completely polarized playing styles.
Yeah.
What did you think of the matchup, Marcelo?
I liked it, and for people saying that Jahlil got schooled, I don't know about that because he dropped quite a few points.
He dropped 18 points, and look, he's a bully. And that's what we've seen through him in the Summer League, and even with these NBA level guys, he's a bully. Yeah. Like he's a master in the post. Mm-hmm. Look, it shows that his defense maybe has a little bit of work to go.
A little bit. a
lot.
A lot.
But like him on offense, we knew he'd be still a great post player even at this level, and he's showing that definitely in Summer League. But Kristaps, man.
Okay, so
I've loved how he's been playing.
Let's throw it back to a few weeks ago when we did the draft special, right?
I liked this pick from the outset. You were a little bit more suspicious of the
I wouldn't
pick.
say I liked it, but I wouldn't say I disliked it either. Yeah. Honestly, it was like, what can we do?
The thing is, we're not going to, the judgment will come much further down the line for Kristaps. Maybe at the end of his rookie year or something like that, we'll have a much better idea of what kind of a pick he was.
Exactly, but what I'm trying to get at is that I'm happier now.
Yeah, you're much happier.
like I see this guy playing, and obviously he's not playing against starters or anything like that.
That might be the main issue because he is still pretty skinny. But he has actually ended up, I think he's put on something like 10 kilos from, I think the end of his last season in the EuroLeague.
Uh-huh.
So he's starting to put on a bit of weight now. And man, this guy's movement off the ball, he can catch and he can shoot. Like his release is just immediate. So quick.
Yeah.
It throws you to a guy like, Klay Thompson or something like that, where the release is just almost instantaneous. Mm-hmm. And on a guy that's 7'3" as well, he's just so long, and we saw that on defense as well. He did foul a lot, and I think that's because he didn't know how to handle Jahlil that well in the post. Obviously, Jahlil can bully a guy like Porzingis, so he was fouling quite a bit. But in amongst those fouls was quite a few blocks.
4 blocks.
4 blocks. And
against what used to be the number 1 touted prospect in this draft. So
and it just shows there was a reason why both of these guys were drafted as high as they were. Mm-hmm. Now, a few gripes, obviously, Jahlil has quite a low release, which obviously a guy that's 7'3" will block those sort of shots.
Yep.
I'm not that worried though. Kristaps isn't getting a lot of shots. Like, so if people are worried why he's not getting like 20 points a game or anything, he only took something like maybe 4 or 5. He's only taken something like 6 or 7 shots a game.
See, his impact offensively, I'm not even going to be worried about because we know he can shoot. We know he can play well. But what I love to see
over time
exactly was the defense, and I didn't realize how long this guy was.
Yeah.
You touched on it. One of the longest players I've seen in a while, man.
And like when a guy can block not just like layups and that sort of stuff, but when they can block shots coming out of guys' hands,
and without even jumping.
Exactly.
I mean, we saw Kristaps just stand there like this and just put his hands up.
And we know Kristaps is more athletic than he's shown in these few games too. Like he's an athletic guy.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for Kristaps, man.
Yeah, go watch his gym dunks.
Like, and on a team like the Knicks in this coming season, like. Outside of Melo, he's going to get a few shots. Like, he's going to get a good chance to shine. And that's the same thing with Jalil as well. We're going to see 2 guys that are both going to play pretty big roles in the offense. So we might see some good season out of these 2 guys.
Well, do you want to talk about Jalil and Nerlens Noel then?
Yeah, so we're talking about the Sixers in this coming season. Obviously, I was a big fan of Nerlens Noel in his rookie season. Technically, he was drafted. He didn't play his first season, but he did play last season.
Yep.
He is a monster defensively, guys. One of the few guys that averaged over 1 block or 1 steal a game. He was absolutely killing it. And, I like the idea of him and Jalil matching up in the same sort of front court. So, because Embiid won't play in the near future.
Right.
So, when you have these 2 guys holding down the fort in the meantime, now, obviously, the Sixers, everywhere else, they're in a bit of strife. But when you look at their front court, that's going to be an exciting matchup.
Because they complement each other.
Exactly.
We touched on the crappy defense from Jalil. It is crappy. Let's call it what it is.
Noel can go out and guard guys on the perimeter. He can go guard guys in the post. And
you can learn from a guy like that.
As absolutely terrible as the offense was from the Sixers last season, their defense was respectable. I think they were easily a top 20 defense or something like that. So... a top 20 defense out of 30 teams.
Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking.
They were the worst offense, but they did quite well on defense. And I think when you have a guy like Nerlens Noel, I think that, and when you have also on offense, you have a guy like Okafor who can bully in the post. I reckon they'll complement each other well. So for once, I think the Sixers, although it might not translate into too many wins, it should be exciting to see what they have out of these young guys.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to bang with some big teams, man.
Look, when you get this many lottery picks, and this is the plan that Hinkie has, when you get this many lottery picks, you're eventually going to get enough talented players that you'll be able to compete.
Yeah.
Now, I don't technically agree with this many seasons of it in a row.
Hey, man, no. But look, you're a Bulls supporter, man. You cannot comment on, people tanking or anything like that. Because you don't know how
Bulls
it feels like,
haven't been bad since, the early 2000s. I wasn't a Bulls fan then.
You do not know what it feels like right now, man. I think tanking is a legitimate option, whether you have to do it 3 or 4 years in a row.
I know exactly what it feels like.
But basketball's different, though, man.
So just a few other guys. Karl Anthony Towns has been pretty good. He's been bullying really in the post. He's got a good shooting touch. He's been great on defense as well. It's going to be interesting to see how him and Andrew Wiggins and everyone sort of complement each other once we get to the real season. But I'm excited for
Yeah, I'm excited.
This Timberwolves team will get a few wins.
I think Karl Anthony Towns has proven that he was deserving of the number 1 pick. He's not putting up ridiculous numbers.
But then again, not many people do in summer league.
No,
not the players that will translate into the regular season. Do you want to talk about the 5th pick from the Orlando Magic, Mario?
So Mario Hezonja, he's been playing really, really well. I think he's probably the 3rd best rebounder in summer league right now, something like that.
At the small forward too.
So we talked about it in the draft special. What did they need, right? It's exactly what they needed.
Shooting on the wing.
And I got to give you props to that, man.
Yeah.
Because you called that, and honestly, seeing it now, seeing him play at the summer league level, it was a really good pickup for Orlando.
And lastly, I just want to quickly talk about, I want to talk about Miles Turner. Look, this is exactly what the Pacers... I was doubtful of the Miles Turner pick myself. He's killing it. Like, he's killing in Summer League. He's getting plenty of rebounds, plenty of blocks. I think he was averaging, in some of the early games, he was averaging about 4.5 blocks a game or something like that, which is ridiculous. Throwing up plenty of points. He's got an incredible shooting touch. Like, he was putting up threes, and this guy's 7 foot. I didn't know he had this shooting touch coming into the league. I'm excited. The Pacers wanted to pick up the pace of their offense going into this season. When you've got a big that can stretch the floor like this, that can get the blocks, that is relatively athletic, this is exactly what they wanted. Miles Turner will get big minutes next season for the Pacers on a relatively good team too. Yeah. So,
I mean, you got Paul George. That's a good team, regardless of who's around.
So it'll be good. It'll be good to watch the Pacers next season, especially. I've got big hopes for this guy in his rookie season.
All right.
Any other basketball moves you wanted to mention, Marcelo?
I don't know. I'm about done.
Okay, I just wanted to quickly throw out there that Josh Smith recently signed for the Clippers.
My bad.
At the veterans minimum of about $1 million and 1.4 for the entire season, which is way below market value for a guy like Josh Smith. Obviously, he's still getting that money from the Detroit contract.
Yes.
So, just so you know, he was waived last season by Detroit, and for the next 3 seasons he's going to get $5.6 million a year for being waived by Detroit on that $15 million a year contract. So he's fine money wise.
Oh yeah,
he's getting paid about 5 times more by Detroit right now that he's not even playing for than he is by his actual team.
Exactly. Okay, so so now we look at the move, right? What does it speak to? Winning. Okay, because LAC was always going to have a better chance at winning than Houston, in my opinion at least.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Houston were missing a few pieces, and LAC have really done well this offseason, especially with DeAndre Jordan.
Especially because we're only a week removed from when he came out. We're only 2 weeks removed from when JJ Redick came out and said that LAC had an F- offseason after they just recently lost.
No, but he was right. Because
up to that point they had. So after that,
it's got to be A+.
Yeah, exactly. They might have had the best season besides anyone but the Spurs, if not maybe even better.
I'd probably say better.
Because you get DeAndre Jordan back.
Yes. Paul Pierce.
You get Lance Stevenson. You get Paul Pierce. You get Josh Smith.
Yeah.
Like a team that's main criticism was their bench now has an incredible bench.
Yeah.
You're now 8-9 deep of legit NBA guys, whereas last season you were maybe you had 6.5 legit NBA players. Now you can literally put a rotation out every game. Obviously, we don't assume injuries here in the off-season predictions.
No, but with the best point guard in the league,
like Chris Paul's going to give any team a chance.
Exactly.
Especially when you have Blake Griffin as well. You have Paul Pierce starting. You have guys like JJ Redick, Jamal Crawford, Lance Stevenson in the wing rotation. Replacing Blake Griffin when he comes off the bench. You have Josh Smith at the power forward. There's plenty of rotation there, so I'm excited for the Clippers. And as you would remember last season when we did our Red Room predictions.
Yep.
And I feel like
Red Room predictions.
I feel like that's going to be a thing. Maybe we might record from the Red Room before this season. And
might do. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So watch out for that.
But we actually now, I would feel just as confident as I did last season when I'm predicting for the Clippers.
So you've got Clippers winning?
No, I've got Clippers as a title favorite, not necessarily as the winners.
Okay, well, explain title favorite. Does that mean they make finals? Does that mean they make conference?
I reckon they have to be probably up there with the Spurs and the Warriors as the best in the West, and the Thunder very close behind that group.
Okay.
So
I agree with you.
It's going to be a 4-horse race in the West, in my opinion. And in my opinion, there's one team in the East that is so far beyond anyone else: the Cavaliers.
LeBron James and pretty much every
they get back everyone. They get their 2 All-Stars back for a team that took took the Warriors to 6 games in the finals. And you're going to come back better.
Yeah.
You're going to come back with more chemistry. You're going to come back with the same role players.
And I said it a couple of weeks ago, man.
The Cavaliers will be a 60-win team next season.
Exactly. I think they win that championship if even one of Irving or Love are healthy.
And we saw what LeBron would do when he has when he has to take those extra shots.
Yeah.
So look, I'm excited. Bring on basketball, man.
Yeah,
it's so far away.
We're waiting for you, NBA.
3 months. 3 months on the countdown.
Real patient, man.
Let's mention the UFC, man.
Yeah.
A favorite of both of ours. Irishman Conor McGregor picked up the World Featherweight Championship.
Okay, but not against who he was supposed to fight, because this isn't like he's an interim
it's the
champion.
Interim
right
champion, of course.
It was a good fight, and honestly, I thought the knockout was kind of weak, to be completely honest. I'm not sure if you watched it,
no, I did. Because it felt like Mendes was on top of it, because he was wrestling Conor a lot, but that left hook just took Mendes out.
Yeah, I mean, Conor just brought in a couple of left hooks and then just jabs, and suddenly he was on the ground and the fight was over.
And we always knew Conor would be the superior upright boxer coming into the fight. But just we like Conor McGregor.
Yeah, we love Conor McGregor here. Yeah. There's no Conor McGregor hate on this podcast. No. We're going to shut you down.
we love the supreme confidence in the lead up, and we love him, how humble he is, and how gracious he is as a winner. Because that's the order it should be in.
Not before, but afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be confident in your preparation. You got to be confident to try and achieve a goal.
And you're trying to get in someone else's head. You
got to be selfish. You got to be selfish while you're trying to get success, Marcelo. When you get the success, you got to be selfless.
Okay.
And that's exactly what he is.
That's the greatest quote I've ever heard. Nathan, that's got to be on like one of those Instagram photos with like the model in the background and the quote on the front.
Insta-racial.
Oh man. But yeah, this is a great win. We're yet to see what's going to happen from here, though, with Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Because he is the face of the UFC right now, but he still has to go further and prove himself a little bit more.
And do you feel like he still has to go through Aldo?
Yeah, I think he does. Because, Chad Mendes, as good as he is, he's not Jose Aldo.
Exactly. And, like, the amount of hate that Conor McGregor has been throwing straight at Aldo. Like, no holding back. So, if that fight ends up happening, which I reckon money-wise it has to now.
Yeah. I tweeted out. I called Jose a little bitch because what's this about an injury like a few weeks just before the start of the fight?
Oh yeah, man.
Come on, man. Like
we saw.
How can you do that?
Yeah, exactly. But we saw what happens. Like injuries kind of taint the fights. Like we saw what happened with the Pacquiao Mayweather fight when Pacquiao comes out after the fight and said he had injuries.
See, I always had a problem with that.
Yeah,
but that was after.
Would you rather them fight and then say after the fight that they had injuries, possibly as an excuse for losing? Let's be honest, Pacquiao used it as an excuse after he lost.
Yep.
Or would you rather them come out earlier and cancel their participation in the fight? Look, I'm not at my best. I'm not going to be able to prepare as well as I should.
Okay.
And I should pull out because I'm not being able to. And then get called out for being a little bitch or a pussy for not fighting.
No, okay.
So it does swing both ways. It's a lose-lose situation if you are injured in the lead up to a fight like this. Yeah. Obviously, different sports, but also just it's that one-on-one fighting matchup. So.
Yeah, but if you think Conor McGregor was 100%... You're wrong. Look, these guys are always suffering through something.
No self-respecting professional sportsman is ever 100%.
Exactly.
These guys have to grind out every day. They're always dealing with little niggles, that sort of stuff. But then again, you can't look at it subjectively and say everyone's injured. Because objectively, there's different degrees.
Yeah, you could say everyone's healthy at the same time.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Like, they're all alive. None of them have... none of them are in permanently.
Yeah, I'm sure if it came to like a do or die situation, they'd fight,
But then again, there's a difference between a torn MCL and like a bruised elbow.
Exactly. So, no, you have a point, Nath. You do have a point.
It's differing degrees, and look, I hope it happens. I'm becoming more of a UFC fan than I was in the lead up when I started this pod, actually. Because mainly of Conor McGregor, because I love watching him fight. Obviously, I'm a huge Ronda Rousey fan.
Well, we both are.
We both are. So the UFC, in my mind, I'm liking it more than ever before.
Look, I've always loved MMA and UFC. Yeah. And it's such a brutal sport. And it really is.
And we saw in the other fight with McDonald and who was it again? The welterweight fight.
So there was another fight in that 189 that was amazing.
Yeah, and they both came out with absolutely just brutal injuries.
And those fights happen all the time. And sometimes it's the undercard fights that are the better ones. And that's what we love about the UFC, because you see some fights where people are literally killing each other in that ring. Yeah. And the ref doesn't call it off, and both of them are just fighting until some of them just can't.
And McDonald's nose was like there on his face in the hospital after. Like, this is brutal stuff, and I got to be honest, like I like it. I enjoy watching it.
Would you have got it into UFC?
I think I am.
No. I mean, like, literally, like, as a teenager, would you have, like, wanted to, like, fight in the UFC?
God, no. No, man. I couldn't even, we already talked about my, lack of participation in rugby. No, I'm not. I ain't doing UFC.
I completely agree with you.
Spectator sport, mate. Spectator sport. So, we're just going to briefly mention about tennis.
Yes.
Or, the off-court.
Okay, we talked about Kyrgios last week.
Yep.
And we talked about Tomic in the same breath. Because what we said was that Kyrgios wasn't as bad as Tomic. And
we have had our prayers answered this week.
Thank you, man.
The lad was partying in his penthouse.
Mm-hmm. Music was too loud, the drinks were flowing a bit too hard.
He was arrested.
Arrested, man. I mean, what more can we say?
But... to be honest, if you had a penthouse like that, you would take advantage of it.
I would.
But I am not an international sporting star.
No, we're not getting paid millions of dollars. No.
So
it is what it is. And other athletes...
maybe he's letting off some steam. Like, he's not in the Davis Cup team.
You're being too generous, man.
Yeah.
You're being too generous right now because we've got other athletes at the same age not doing this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you heard Kyrgios doing this stuff?
I have not.
Thank you.
I would much rather have Kyrgios' on-court drama and make it the fourth round of Wimbledon than get humiliated in the third round, knocked out, come out with some very outspoken comments. And by outspoken, of course, Kyrgios' comments were outspoken, but there's a difference between...
Is there a problem with that?
There's a difference between defending your heritage and outright calling out the organisation that pays your bills.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, exactly, No, I have no problem with Kyrgios, but back to Tomic. I mean, here we go. It's another downhill turn of events for him.
Exactly.
And this has been pretty much his entire career.
And we've seen this downfall so many sporting stars, where they get too caught up with the off-field stuff. They think they've made it already.
Yep.
They're not committed to improving their game. And it feels like Tomic's development has stayed pretty stale for the last few years anyway. I'm not ready to completely abandon him as a prospect for Australia. I think he still has some glory left in his career. I still think there's huge potential for possibly a deep run into some Grand Slams. But I'm on Team Kyrgios right now.
Oh, for sure.
I'm on Team Kyrgios.
I agree with you. I think the
potential... or Kokonakis as well. I don't want to throw a shade at young Kokonakis either.
But he hasn't been in the headlines as much. Thankfully, I mean.
But then again, maybe that's the best.
That's a good thing.
Maybe that's the best thing about Kokonakis. Yeah. He hasn't been in the headlines as much. He is just quietly going about his business, just quietly, just getting developed as a tennis player. Maybe we see at the end of this, the Kokonakis is the best Australian, tennis player.
Yeah, and I think the general Australian public that sees the sledging that Kyrgios does and all that, are maybe going to get behind Kokonakis more.
Yeah, but you and me, we love the sledging.
But yeah,
it's not necessarily. It's not really sledging at his opponent anymore. It's more at the umpire that is the criticism of it at the moment.
And we said it last week, umpires deserve to be criticised at some point. That's their job. That's what they get paid to do. To make decisions, and sometimes those decisions aren't correct. That's just life. You make bad decisions, someone's going to call you out on it. Tomic, though, I agree with you. Not ready to just jump off the wagon just yet. He's got potential.
Yeah, exactly. He's too good to.
But look, there's a lot of work to do with this guy. Man. Someone really needs to take control of him and put him on the right track.
And look, to be honest, we haven't got anyone even in range of sniffing the big four at the moment.
No.
No,
it's not. It's not close.
It's not close.
But these guys are young, man.
Exactly. And look, I'm very keen to see how their careers go.
Yeah.
Keen for the Australian Open, even though it's months away.
Just keen for any sport so we can talk about it.
Come on, we need content, guys. Now, okay. Because of the differing lineup this week, guys, we're going to call the question of the week already.
Yeah.
Right now. And we'll explain why after we finish. But I think we have a pretty good question of the week from Marcelo this week.
Look, after Serena Williams won this last Open...
her 21st Grand Slam title.
So Wimbledon, right?
Yeah.
Biggest tennis tournament in the world. It got me to thinking, we're like in that age right now where we see women athletes as the same as male athletes, and that's the way it should be, right? So my question is, why shouldn't we rank female athletes with male athletes? And that's where my question stems from today. The question of the week is, where does Serena Williams rank right now in athletes internationally?
Are we talking like her current ability, or are we talking overall achievements throughout a career?
I'm talking Both.
Both, yeah.
I mean, for me, she's got to be top 10, easy. And
let's talk about some people that might be ahead or on par with her.
Okay.
Do you see any other tennis player in terms of their legacy and their ability? The only one I would see off the top, only two I would see off the top of my head would be Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic.
Okay, I agree with you on both of them, but Serena Williams is higher on my list than them.
I agree. Look, Roger Federer is a legend.
Yes.
But then again, Serena Williams is also a legend in the way that she has more Grand Slam titles. She's utterly dominant. She's been utterly dominant for the last 15 years.
No, but here's the thing. Like Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, Murray, Ferrer, they've all shared the winnings at some point.
Wawrinka.
Exactly. So who has Williams shared it with? Well, Sharapova?
She's being greedy.
I mean, Sharapova, yeah, she's great, but... You know, it's not the same. I mean, Serena Williams...
Like with tennis, you can look at guys, like, you can make an argument for guys like, is it Novak? Is it Roger Federer? Is it, not right quite now, but is it Rafael Nadal?
I mean, 2010 Nadal was the best player in the world.
Exactly. You know, Serena Williams, throughout all this, has consistently been the best.
Exactly.
So
in the sport of tennis, I think she is the most dominant athlete, for sure. I think you can't argue that. Not right now.
And, okay, so we talk about maybe some other sports.
Okay.
Is there any other athletes that you would maybe say this athlete, overall greatness in their ability right now and their career achievements, in general worldwide presence and personality, who would you rank ahead of Serena Williams?
LeBron James.
I would agree. And the thing is, if you were to go into a lab and construct the perfect basketball player... in a lab, you would get something
You'd give him a hairline, though. Damn.
We'd give the lad some hair, but we would get something pretty close to LeBron James.
Pretty close.
Now, the thing is, like, LeBron is an amazing athlete. And I feel like I would, as you said, I'd rank him ahead of Serena Williams.
Yeah.
In general winning persona, though?
No. But then again, it's different.
Yeah.
Okay, because Serena competes in how many Opens a year?
Exactly.
Okay, and LeBron has got 1 finals, and that's what we judge him on.
Exactly.
So it's not the same, but I think overall...
5 finals in a row, soon to be 6.
Exactly.
Ooh.
All right. Okay.
And, look, LeBron's is just a dominant athlete.
Best basketball player in the world.
Best basketball player in the world still, and we're at the point we kind of look at it back retrospectively on what he's done in his career. Just 2 titles, 6 runs to the NBA Finals. Is probably, in my opinion, in basketball history, no one has been able to take teammates to such a higher level as him to achieve things that they didn't think possible.
Yeah, because he's such a good team player. Exactly.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
Is there any other possibly players doing their stuff right now that you would rank as ahead of Serena Williams?
Okay, so basketball, that's it. It's just LeBron that's above Serena Williams. I don't put anyone else. Let's move into the other sport we love and cherish, football.
Football.
Okay, so
now the general stars we can't really rank on Serena. I wouldn't rank guys like Luis Suarez on her level. I wouldn't rank guys like Neymar, too young. Even Hazard, too young.
No.
Guys like maybe Bastian Schweinsteiger or Iker Casillas, although they are legends of the game, they're not quite on Serena's level.
No. But
there are 2 guys we want to mention that...
It's fairly obvious, though, right?
Messi, Ronaldo.
And I want to explain why, okay? We talk about Messi being in the greatest of all time conversation. In my opinion, he's there. Like, he's there. And
you got to think, across all of the sports, how many sports are we currently seeing 2 of the top 5 players of all time?
Yeah, exactly.
Doing their stuff in their primes right now. We're not seeing that in basketball.
No.
Look, maybe we're seeing 1 or 2, maybe even 3, but 2 of those guys are at the end of their careers. I'm, of course, talking about Tim Duncan. Kobe Bryant.
Yep.
But they're on the tail end. Messi and Ronaldo are in their primes right now. They've achieved incredible amounts of success.
Yep.
Counting their trophies is near impossible. Each of them, I think, is it Ronaldo has 3 Ballon d'Ors now?
Something
like that. 2 or 3. Oh no, yes, 3. Messi has 4. Soon to be 5.
Okay.
I'm just making the predictions
you
just
are.
quietly here. Look, countless UCLs, countless league titles, plenty of cups in between.
Yeah.
Just the individual brilliance of what we get to see every year in the Champions League.
And you know what I love is that we get to see them go at each other at least twice a year, if not 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Exactly, yeah.
Because you got the two Clásicos that are set. That's always going to happen.
But we often get to see them in a cup matchup.
Exactly.
And,
even UCL.
Exactly. We're still praying before the end of their careers that we get to see them in a UCL final together.
Yeah. I want to see Messi, mark him, though. What if Messi, tracked back the entire way and Ronaldo was on a counter-attack? Oh, my God. That would just be amazing. But yes. Back to the conversation. I don't want to.
Serena Williams.
I don't want to detour too much.
We were just dreaming about Messi and Ronaldo.
Yes, I do put Messi and Ronaldo above her, along with LeBron James. Anyone else, Nathan?
The conversation gets short after that. I don't think any Australian athletes doing their thing at the moment are above him. I don't think any athletes in motorsport are on the level of success as Serena Williams.
No.
We talk about athletics, long distance runners at the moment. No one really doing their thing. I mean, Haile Gebrselassie already retired, but he was dominant as anything. There's no one really doing their thing at the moment that I would put on the same level as Serena Williams. There is one athletics guy I want to talk about, though.
Okay, yeah.
We talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt.
I think a guy that holds as many records worldwide as he does, you have to put him in the conversation.
Yes.
He's not quite done yet.
He's in the conversation for sure.
We're still 7 years removed from that Beijing dominance.
Yeah.
It's amazing. 7 years.
Time flies, huh?
It does. He's, 28, 29 now?
Something like that.
We're not going at that level of athletics, we're not going to see any world record-breaking performances anymore. But just the myth and legend that he's carved out already. Yeah. I think we put him in the conversation.
Okay. Say it, man. I'm not going to put any input into this. Ahead or below Serena Williams on your list?
Ahead. And because he's carved out a legend worldwide, I think he's... Because to be honest, the Olympics is the biggest sporting event in the world.
Yeah.
No two ways about it. He carved out his legend on the Olympic stage, set the world record at the Olympics. Or was it at the World Championships? I'm not sure.
Doesn't matter. He got the record.
He carves out legends at the Olympics.
Yeah.
He's beloved worldwide. Doing his thing for a nation that, isn't, Jamaica doesn't often get the shine it does, except on the sporting stage. I've got to put Usain Bolt ahead of her. But to be honest, there isn't too many ahead of Serena Williams at the moment. I put her top 5 in the world as an athlete right now.
Okay, well I disagree with you. I've got Usain Bolt beneath her.
Okay.
I think the greatness, the pure dominance over so many other people is just incredible. And I know you can say the same for Usain Bolt,
but it hasn't always been dominant.
Exactly. She does it over and over again. Every year, pretty much every Open, she wins.
And the thing is, Usain Bolt's been doing his thing on such a world stage for about half the time Serena Williams has. I think always longevity, and this is why I'm a huge Tim Duncan fan, doing it for such a long, extended period on such a high level.
Yeah.
Is something to be respected above everything else, in my opinion. How long you can sustain greatness.
Yeah.
And maybe I have to agree with you. Maybe I have to backtrack on my original point.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, okay, I'll stick with that. Okay, I'll stick with that.
Well, we don't have to rank that much of a polarizing thing. We'll put our top athletes in the world right now, in no particular order.
Yes.
LeBron James, Serena Williams, Messi.
Yes.
Cristiano Ronaldo, and Usain Bolt.
And then I got to think about it from there, man.
You got to think about it.
You got to think about it.
So look,
MLB,
Serena
NFL.
Williams transcends any sort of gender restrictions on sport at the time. She's utterly dominant.
So she's makes top 5 athlete in the world right now.
Right now, yeah. She's a legend, and our utter respect that she finishes her career with even more titles.
I still hope Sharapova wins a few, though. I love you, Sharapova. Maria.
We love you, Sharapova.
We love you, Maria.
Now we're getting to the point where we want to maybe experiment a bit this week.
Okay.
Given the slow sports week, we're going to do an and one marathon.
Yeah. So we usually have an and one at the end of every podcast.
Yeah. We have some light topics. We have some stuff we're interested in. And then we have some heavier stuff we're going to talk about this week too.
I'm a bit nervous about this, mate. Let's start on the easy stuff, though.
Don't throw some too heavy stuff at us, guys. Now, you and me, probably more me, we're massive nerds.
Yes.
I'm
a nerd too, though.
I'm a nerd. Yeah. Alright. And some trailers came out there during the week from Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Some big trailers.
Huge trailers, man.
Now, I want to talk this in the order of the level of excitement we have it. So going from least excited, but still really excited, to utterly hyped out of our minds. So we're going to initially talk about the Batman v Superman trailer.
Yes.
So we're excited. We saw our first full 3-minute trailer for it, where we got a solid idea of the plot, everything like that. What do you think?
I don't know about solid idea of the plot. I was a bit confused.
But no, it's exactly what I want from a trailer. I want an idea. I want some images. I want some symbolism that I like. I don't want to know all about the plot, because if you saw the Terminator Genesis trailer, it revealed everything about that movie. I don't even want to go see that movie because I know everything about that movie.
I saw it a few days ago. It was, you know, Arnie's Arnie. You know what I mean?
Arnie's Arnie.
But yeah, Batman, Superman. To your point, the fact that it didn't reveal too much of the plot just got me more interested.
Exactly.
And I'm so keen
And now we
for
can
this,
theorize about it and everything like that.
Exactly.
Look, I haven't seen Man of Steel yet, and I'm determined to see it before I go in.
Okay.
But I'm excited because this follows. This looks very similar and looks like it's based off one of my favorite comic book movies of all time, and which was originally based off a comic by Frank Miller, The Dark Knight Returns.
Okay.
This whole Batman v Superman theme. It's there to set up the Justice League movie. They're not putting any shame into that. We're going to see Gal Gadot come in as Wonder Woman during this movie. The only thing I'm really worried about is that it does get too crowded and that they'll try and go in too many directions. Like, you got Wonder Woman, you got Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. You have possibly some other cameos from some other superheroes, that sort of stuff. But I think the main thing they have to focus on in this movie is Batman, Superman, how they polarize each other in terms of their ideals, what they want, what they represent.
And how they can be on an equal level fighting as well, you know?
Because, but the thing is, Superman has to be about restraint. It's always about restraint. And that's the thing that is behind his character. Superman could destroy everything if he wanted to. But that's the thing. That's what everyone, when they have this discussion, they think Superman was easy. Superman has a level of restraint about him. Yeah,
but I can see Batman pulling some shit from under his sleeve, you know what I mean?
The main thing about Batman is that he prepares so well. He's the smartest superhero out of everyone.
Yeah.
He could... he's only a man, but he's so much more. He's
like Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
I mean, real superpower.
What superpower is better than money?
Exactly. Hey, man, if you could choose a superpower...
You get money. But no, I'm really excited for this movie. I like the look of it. I love Ben Affleck's Batman already. To me, I probably might even like him more than Christian Bale. Because to me, Christian Bale wasn't the best. He's better. He's the best movie Batman yet.
Okay.
But he wasn't the best Batman. The best Batman, in my opinion, was the original voice of Batman, Kevin Conroy.
So, do you think Christopher Nolan made him look better than he actually was?
Look, he was a great Batman. I love that movie trilogy to death. Dark Knight, probably one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
But he was great, but I think for the role of Batman, I have huge hopes for Ben Affleck. I think he can be very, very good.
And he got a lot of stick at the start when they announced he was Batman.
But, you look at him in movies like Gone Girl recently, and he's a great actor.
Yeah, he is.
And look, he looks like he really wants to throw everything he's got into Batman. And look, I respect that.
Yeah, I think people will really grow to like him as the Batman. I don't think he'll do a bad job at all.
He's playing a more older, grizzled version of the Batman. And I actually, out of all the versions of Batman that I've seen previously, the older, grizzled, sort of really dour Batman is
your favorite?
Really interesting interpretation of the character, because I'll recommend something to the people. Go watch The Dark Knight Returns. It's a 2-part animated feature. Incredible movie. It gives you a great idea of what you're going to see in this upcoming movie. Just great performances all around.
I gotta watch this too.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to hype this up to everyone I know because it's
go watch it.
Go watch it. All right.
Yo, we might have to put the link in the description.
I might have to go put a sneaky link of the trailer in the description.
Okay.
You might need to either watch it in a legal way or some other sort of ways.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that, but now that you have, let's just
move on to the next trailer. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Suicide Squad trailer.
Yes, I loved it.
It was great. God, I loved it. Okay, now the Suicide Squad, it's a bit like the Guardians of the Galaxy, some less well-known characters, and it's going to be all about how they take on the movie, what they do with the source material to make it a mainstream success.
But I love that because we're going to learn so much.
Exactly.
You know?
I think, look, we got an Aussie representing in this, Margot Robbie. She's perfect for Harley Quinn.
She's just perfect.
She is perfect.
She's perfect. No. She's not perfect or something. She's perfect.
Okay. And if we're going to talk about perfect in this movie, we also have another member of the Suicide Squad as well. I'm going to play Enchantress, Cara Delevingne. Mate. Mate, Cara Delevingne. Oh my god.
Bruh.
She's amazing. She is incredible. Just her general personality is just, I don't know. Just
Harley Quinn plays the Joker, right? Who's playing the Joker?
No, Harley Quinn is the...
No, sorry.
I'm Jared confused. Leto plays
Jared
the Joker.
Leto, sorry.
And we saw our first, actual glimpse of it. I'm excited for what he can do as the Joker. It's a different interpretation of the character than what we've seen previously. But it does take on that sort of a theme that was brought up with Heath Ledger, where it was like a really psycho, sort of dark version of the Joker.
Because you see Leto at the end, it was freaky. The way just
I don't think we're going to see him with his shirt off the whole movie. I'll point that out.
No.
He will be wearing when we've seen the Joker's vehicle as well, that really purple Lamborghini.
The usual costumes.
So I think we will still see parts of the suave Joker as well, but I think this whole torture scene as well is something we're going to see a lot with as well.
I think we're going to love it, man.
I think we're going to love it. Will Smith as Deadshot.
Yep.
Going to be great. We got other glimpses in this movie as well. We got Captain Boomerang, the guy from The Walking Dead, Shane. So that's also an Aussie.
He's a great actor.
He is a great actor.
He's really underrated.
And we're also going to see Killer Croc in this movie, who actually looked really good in the trailer. You know, the guy in the hood that was the really scaled face, everything like that. Yeah.
That was fucked up. I don't know these guys as well as you do, so.
No, but I'm excited. I'm keen for this movie. Yeah, no, I'm hyped.
I'm hyped too, man.
Now we're going to get to our most excited superhero part of this scene.
Wait. Okay, say it.
All Deadpool.
Do it.
Deadpool. Now I have, if you haven't noticed, a few years ago they did put out a Deadpool video game. That was some good glimpses of the character, the sort of character he is. He's a character that loves to break the fourth wall. Some really PC sort of humor, in the way that there's no hold bars with Deadpool. I love that this movie's R-rated, by the way.
Exactly.
It's exactly what this character needed. Ryan Reynolds is perfect for the role. We saw the test footage 2 years ago. Just if it's anything going along that theme, I reckon it's going to be a great movie.
It's going to be a great movie. It really is. Sorry, I was just going to say that, are we the most excited for that or something else? But we'll get into that later.
No, I'm saying out of the superhero trailers.
Out of the superhero trailers, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I reckon Deadpool I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
It's I think it's the soonest one out of all of these too.
Really?
I think it's February
Well, that's going to set the standard then.
Yeah. Poof. So if Marvel can add to what they've already done so far, Marvel's just making miracles out of nothing.
They're making plays. But DC's making plays as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's going to be good to see.
Let's get out of the Marvel-DC rivalry for 1 second. Do you want to say it?
Star Wars 7.
Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Dude, you see the smile on our faces right now?
We're hyped. I grew up. Star Wars was one of my themes of my childhood that I loved. To be honest, as a kid, you loved the prequels because you didn't really see that much. I watched the originals. I loved them too. I loved Star Wars as a kid, and I'm sure you did too.
Yeah, but what's so cool about the Star Wars, just the universe? My parents talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
And they find it awesome. I find it awesome. I talk to my little brother who's 11 years old and he's got lightsabers as toys. It's a generational thing and it just keeps going. Everyone loves Star Wars.
And there's so much left to explore with a universe built that strongly. And we're going to see 3 more movies. And we saw a behind-the-scenes glimpse in Comic-Con.
Yeah. I don't know how long it went for, probably 5 minutes.
5 minutes or something like that.
that was amazing. We got to see the actors talk about their role, talk
Everyone
about what
is
it
a
meant.
fan. Everyone is a fan. Everyone loves what they're creating.
Yeah.
And that's when you see actual brilliant passion projects, when people love what they're creating. So I'm excited, man.
Oh man, this looks amazing. Honestly, it does. And like you said, the cast being so happy and so keen to get it done well, with passion. It just speaks to like how great this universe is and how it brings everyone together to really enjoy a movie.
Hey man, I've got to smash all the Star Wars movies again before I've...
Oh, for sure. We're going to have to watch like all 6 in order. Or maybe even just the original.
Maybe that might be our lead up to the Star Wars movie. Maybe in the lead up to the pod, we might review a Star Wars movie for like a few minutes each week.
Oh, that's okay. All right, Nathan, I see you.
All right. Now, guys, it can't all be just fun movie trailers the whole time.
No.
We've still got some time to fill, and there's some stuff we really want to talk about that's very topical.
Yeah.
We're talking about some gun laws, specifically in the US, because I think we're doing it right here in Australia.
Yes.
Where do we go from here, Marcelo?
So we're not... Obviously, like, headlines every week, right?
Every week.
People getting shot.
And that's maybe the most disturbing thing about it, the frequency with which we're seeing this being such a recurring theme in the US. Not only with the police struggle, but also we see the lower demographics of society in the US. Gun violence it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. And it's almost, as an Australian, and you see the US sets the tone for so many things for us. But you see it's such a polarizing thing that we sorted out 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's still maybe the biggest bother. It's maybe the biggest social issue in the US. And it's not being addressed.
Right. I mean, I bring it to this. I can make 1,000 points about why guns should be banned. But, just, okay, if you think about it, how can you know, as a government, as a society, if you give a gun to someone, how can you know that they're not going to use it in a bad way? Okay? Even the best people in the world make errors. Okay? And maybe not necessarily like going out to kill someone, but how many times have we seen someone like accidentally kill themselves in a house?
Or accidentally leaving a gun in a bad position, like leaving it under their purse.
And the children?
The kids get a hold of it. I think I saw recently a story about 2 weeks ago. The kid found the gun under the pillow and accidentally shot his dad.
Yeah.
That's
crazy, man. Like, and okay, so you've got that, right? Yeah. So you can't know for sure. Because even the best people have bad days, and you don't know what they're going to do.
And the thing is, we're not even looking at their psychological history. Like, by we, I mean us as a society relating to the US.
Yeah.
They're not even looking at their backgrounds. Like, there isn't even a legitimate background check. There isn't a psychological assessment, which I think should be at least the very minimum we could be doing. Like, a psychological assessment of these people going out to buy guns.
Yeah.
You've got to check up on this. And look, the whole Second Amendment right, these guys were holding muskets in these days. Exactly. The whole reason the Second Amendment is there is that so the people could form a militia against a tyrannical government.
Exactly.
We're talking about muskets, in my opinion.
Just Minutemen, man.
In every single issue ever. Every single thing from the smallest, from personal level to a whole societal level. Everything's about context.
Yeah.
If you measure everything objectively, just without thinking of context, without thinking about the situation, that's not the way to look at things. You've got to think about context in every situation. So when people are trying to make comparisons out of nowhere, like with gun laws, with the Second Amendment, it doesn't apply right now. It doesn't apply in the society we live in. We've got to change it. We've got to change it to fit the context that we're living in right now. And we've seen Australia change to fit the context of the society we're in, where the weapons had such a capability.
Exactly.
And it worked. It worked. We haven't had a gun massacre, which a gun massacre, by the way, is 4 people or more being murdered at one time.
Right.
We haven't seen anything like that since gun legalization was implemented.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just tough because, right, like, I'll bring it back to, like, even home situations, if I had a pistol right now and I had a firing range, I'll go shoot it, right? But, like, how do you know your home is secure enough to have a gun? Why can't someone just walk in there and take it? You know, and there's bad people out there that could make use of that. I know we just saw a report of the Queensland Police Service. I'm not calling them out or anything, but they lost a handgun in Woodridge, which is one of the most violent neighborhoods here in Logan. You know, and if that did get into the wrong hands, they did recover it, thank God. But you know, people will use guns as a way to inflict harm upon other people. In terms of high-powered rifles, which is something else I wanted to get into, because it's not just handguns, it's not just shotguns. We're looking at automatic rifles being sold at Walmart. Okay, like that's a huge problem. How can you have automatic rifles that can literally take out a room full of people in seconds? In the
same place you can buy your vegetables and your meat.
Exactly.
You shouldn't be able to buy automatic rifles.
Exactly. And, you know, if you gave me an RPG, I'll shoot it. Like, you want to shoot it because it's
so much power, but at the same time, like...
I wouldn't call it fun, but it'd be a thrilling and full of adrenaline experience, you know? So I can't believe that...
But different people get a different use and a different idea about this sort of power.
Exactly.
I'm going to be a nerd for a second, but with great power comes great responsibility.
No, but you're completely right about that. Like, we're not even making a pun or anything like that. You're right, you know? And how can you have that responsibility in a society?
And we talk about responsibility as well, and being responsible as law enforcement officers. Mm-hmm. We don't see this problem in Australia. We don't see this problem in the UK. No. We don't see this problem in a lot of other societies. Like, obviously, there's different sorts of police corruption in maybe some of the third world, maybe second world countries, and that's a completely different
but police corruption is everywhere.
Exactly. But we talk about just outright police brutality, police violence. Mm-hmm. The US needs to address this.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Okay. Look, for me, there's one thing you can do, and I'm not saying this is going to solve everything. This isn't going to, like, put the crime rates down or anything.
But then again, like, we've heard before, like, you can't just look for problems that outright solve every problem without any complication. You've got to look for solutions that create progress towards a solution.
My question is, why do police in the US, some police departments have tanks? Tanks are used for literally warfare. Are you going to war against your citizens? No. As bad as they are, you're not gonna drive a SWAT tank that's like 8 foot high in the air and like armor plated so it can't get taken out by rockets into someone's home. You know? So these SWAT teams are just completely overarmed. Mm. They're going in with RPGs
for the amount of like capabilities that they
need.
And we saw, like, maybe I think it was a month ago, that some teens were just down at a local swimming pool at a party they weren't invited to. Mm. And these are 14-year-old black kids.
Yeah.
And a police took a black girl and threw her to the ground, and like had her on the ground and everything like that.
The video is traumatizing.
It's honestly scary.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's something that just needs to be addressed, and, you know, there's so many layers to this problem that maybe we don't have time to get into today. But I think in the last year of Obama's tenure, he's not looking at maybe any more time in there.
No, well, he's
got to go to war with the NRA. Mm-hmm. In the last year, he's not looking to get re-elected.
No.
And we've seen that in, like, some of the comments that he's made. He's not caring about getting re-elected. He's caring about making real change.
Because he's at the end of his term this
is the time. This is the time to go to war against the NRA. Because odds are we're going to see a Republican president for the next at least 4 years.
Yeah.
That's where the polls look like they're going to go. Mm-hmm. They need to get the best out of Obama in his final year, and he needs to implement gun laws now, or we might not see a chance for it to happen for years and years to come.
In a very long time, yeah. And what I like is that Americans are really starting to change their mindset about this, you know.
Obviously, there's a big hardline Republican part of America, a much huger part than we realize.
Mm-hmm. But I think Americans realize that this violence isn't really happening anywhere else. It's happening in the US, in the so-called best country in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's about it for that. I don't want to touch any more else.
Okay, we won't get too heavy. Just some other things. You wanted to bring up one topic?
Do we want to talk about same-sex marriage? Do we want to talk about that?
Briefly.
Okay.
We did see it recently get legalized in Ireland, a heavily Catholic state, by democratic vote.
Mm-hmm.
We saw it get legalized by Supreme Court ruling in the US. It'll happen. I'm not too worried that it won't happen within the next year in Australia.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and. There's no point rushing it because it will happen. That's where everything's going. Mm-hmm. The last line of defence against it is Tony Abbott. We've seen plenty of Liberal front benches that say they want it to be implemented. We've seen the whole Labor cabinet. We've seen the whole Greens cabinet. They all want it to happen. The only roadblock left is Tony Abbott. And to be honest, that's not one Prime Minister isn't a big enough roadblock for huge sweeping societal change. So it'll happen. It should happen. I'm happy that it's going to happen. And there's nothing else I really want to say on it.
I agree with you. The only thing I wanted to say was, Tony Abbott came and said, we're not going to follow the US immediately. Like we're not like a dog on a leash. We're not going to do as they said.
We're living in a global society now. Countries affect other countries.
Right, but what I'm trying to get at is you'll follow them into war immediately.
Yeah.
So you can't really say that, you know what I mean? Exactly. It's a bit hypocritical. That's all I wanted to say. But yeah, I agree with you. Same-sex marriage does have to happen.
And you wanted to bring something about recreational drugs?
Yeah, so the legalization of marijuana. Should it be legalized here in Australia?
We were mentioning how the US affects Australia. It's become a huge legal market in the US right now. More and more states are legalizing it as a recreational drug.
Yeah.
Look, I've seen plenty of evidence of it, not firsthand, obviously, of it as a medicinal.
Yeah, go on. I'm sorry. Go on.
As a medicinal tool, cannabis against some very varying amounts of actual conditions. It actually works, like from the reports that I've seen. So I think as a medicinal usage, we are lagging behind on that. I think it needs to be implemented as a medicinal use. Mm-hmm. Can't say anything about the recreational, really. I reckon I'm not sure because, it shouldn't be illegal. I reckon a lot of the time the punishment doesn't affect the crime, doesn't fit the crime. Pardon me. So I think drug laws should be relaxed in terms of possession laws.
Okay.
People that supply these illegal drugs, I think it's harsh as it needs to be right now, and it's exactly what fits the crime. People that are supplying these drugs, people that are manufacturing these drugs, getting these huge sentences, exactly the deterrent that needs to be there.
Yep.
But those who are caught with small amounts of cannabis or something like that, I think the punishment definitely doesn't fit the crime.
I'm not even gonna say anything. You just hit the nail on the head, bro. No, I completely agree with you, man.
I think that might wrap up our And One marathon for the week.
I can't believe we got through that.
Sorry guys, it's a bit of a short episode. We're going to a great screening of
Goma
at Goma of Howl's Moving Castle, a movie by a studio that we both are huge fans of.
We gotta go,
guys. We gotta
blaze through this.
So basically, that was our podcast of the week. If you're liking what we're doing on video, if you're liking the content of the podcast, you want to see something else, you want to see more, just hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Facebook, hit us up on YouTube, subscribe to us, like us, just, give us the support or give us the hate we require. Yes, we do require support.
We need it.
No worries. As for that, I'm Nathan Bleakley.
I'm Marcelo Lucha.
And this has been the No Regard Podcast.
Thanks, guys.